I'm Barry Craig. Coming up next on the Union Label will be a conversation with Francis Willey and Jeff Wiggins about Labor Day. Welcome back. Summer is fast fading away and Labor Day is fast approaching. Tell us what we have on tap right here in River City for this Labor Day.
Go ahead.
We have just about everything.
One thing new this year is, of course, the yard sale.
It is.
Idea.
And I really believe that's going to be a big success by the phone calls that I have gotten and the ads that we have run. But it sounds like it's going to be a big, big success. They seem to be excited about it because they can come out there and set up a first come, first serve. And this year we decided not to charge anything, so they're going to be there. I really believe they will.
Now, this year's program is just on Labor Day itself, right?
Right.
But you all are thinking about maybe next year going back to the old format of the 3 days?
Yes, we were talking about that. Yes, we are.
I've got a couple things in the works. I've talked with a guy that promotes a little bit, and we've been talking about possibly John Anderson on Saturday next year, and maybe even possibly Aaron Tippin on Sunday. I'm trying to bring in a couple big names, and maybe if we can get a little help, and we can get that done. And then of course we'll do political speaking on Monday and have a local band on Monday. But you have to draw the crowd out there to keep the vendors happy and keep everything going good. And we're going to try to bring this thing back home to Paducah in a big way, maybe possibly next year.
And of course, Carson Park is going to be the headquarters for the political speaking and the picnic.
Right, at Carson Park.
We were talking earlier, of course, this is not an election year in Kentucky. And some of the headliners who normally are with us won't be here this year. What politicians have we lined up so far?
Well, we have Will Corsi.
State Representative from over in Marshall County.
We have Fred Nessler.
From Mayfield and Graves County. Right.
We have Cherry, Mike
Cherry from Princeton.
Yes, we have Mark, J.R. Gray won't be here, but we have Mark Brown that will be a standing in for him to speak.
And he's the Deputy Labor Secretary.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
We have some locals, Gerald Watkins, Richard Abraham.
Paducah City Commissioner.
That's right. And our McCracken County Van Newberry.
Judge Executive.
And Ronnie Freeman.
Commissioner.
And we have several, though, that are going to participate in the agenda. We have, like I'd like to say, Mike Shane Nichols, he'll be there again. And we just have a program, a regular program. Our MC is Larry Sanderson.
Pretty fair speaker, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He is.
He does a wonderful job.
He does. You think there's anyone else?
No, but if any of the local politicians would like to come and like to have a chance to speak, all they have to do is come before we start the speaking, and we'll try to work them in also. I mean, it's kind of an open format. They come, we let them speak, give them a little time to speak. I'm a little excited about our Grand Marshal this year. Our Grand Marshal is from Local 184, David Walker. He's one of the guys that you never hear anything from, but he's always behind the scene working his tail off, and that's a typical person for Labor Day. We have a lot of people that work behind the scenes. Miss Francis, I don't know how many hours she puts in every year to do this program, and she just really works her tail off to do her job, and she's getting a year or two older, but not very much older, and she's probably one of the hardest working people that I got on my committee. I had some new people come in this year. Leonard Tucker, he's from 184. Derek Sanderson, Kyle Henderson from 184. I had Jim Key come in, and of course we've got Linda Downey
Right.
She's our recording secretary, and we got Francis as our financial secretary, and I'm the president. And Wendy Wallace is my vice president, and my mom is on that committee, Martha Wiggins, and my cousin was a new member on that committee this year, Judy Wallace. So
and
we got a few new faces.
Our parade coordinator.
Oh,
Howard.
I don't want to forget him.
Without him,
No. He's a pretty big fella.
Yes,
he runs
yes.
the best parade
Yes, he
in
does.
Western Kentucky.
Yes.
Mark Thompson's told him that, and he asked him if he wanted to come out and do the Christmas parade for him, and Bubba pretty much told him, that's what we call him, hired dolls, Bubba. He pretty much told Mark that he couldn't afford him.
Right.
He's free gratis for us, but
I remember that. So the parade starts at 9:30?
the parade starts at 9:30, but we do ask all of them that are participating in the parade to be at 2nd and Broadway at 8:30. Jeff, he helps do the lineup. He helps do the lineup, and I don't know how many men they have down there doing that. Because I usually go back to Carson Park, but there'll be several out there.
Well, Benny Adair's helped. A vice president from the International Steelworkers, Kip Phillips, has helped. Joe Valines, international staff rep for the Steelworkers, comes and helps. Jim Key helps with the parade. Wayne Wallace helps with the parade.
And then you've got judges too who
Yes.
judge them. Now, who are the judges this
The
year?
judges is, that left me like that.
Are they the same ones as last?
Larry
Johnson
From
and
Mayfield.
Wayne Chambers.
Yes.
And Gladys Morphew.
Okay.
That
we have
left
a
me there.
machinist and a USW
But
member and a
Well, she belongs to the Alvin Barkley Democratic Club.
right.
Also, her husband is a ironworker.
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
Jim Morphew.
Right. So this parade, what can we expect to see in the parade?
Well, you're going to see a variety of everything. I think the calls I've been getting is just it's a complete mix-up. Of course, your locals, they have the biggest floats. They have the bigger floats, and we usually try to get them in close to the front. Of course, your fire engines are up there first because we have to get them out in case of fire.
Sure.
But it's going to be a mixture of everything. And I've had another call this morning at 8 o'clock where the Highway Patrol want to be in this parade this year, which is different. And I was just real proud. But as of last night, we have 43 entries. We have 43.
Well, you can add another one to that because the mine workers just called me before
Did
the
they?
program, and we're going to try to fit them in somewhere.
Well, that's great. Bubba and Howard Dawes and I talk to each other every night. I'll get some early in the morning. Right now, we're working them in because the schedule has been taken care of and all their packets have been sent out. But we're working. Anyone that wants to participate in that parade, we're going to get them in there. Some of them may be at the last, but we don't say no to anyone for that parade. We're glad to have them all.
We have a lot of local flavor too with the local bands, Lone Oak, Reedland, Heath, Paducah Tillman, the ROTC, Paducah Tillman's ROTC. A lot of people don't know, but we're giving out like $150 per band to show up, and then we gave out a $500 scholarship. Well, we've did it a little different this year. We upped the money that we were going to get. We did away with a scholarship, and I hate that we did that, but it cost a lot more to get the buses and the kids there, so we decided, how much are we giving them?
$300.
We're giving each band $300 to participate
Plus
in the parade.
ROTC.
Plus the
We do
ROTC.
because they're very faithful and they do. The crowd enjoys that group.
We want to be able to give back to people to give back to us, and it's been really nice. It's been really good.
We were talking earlier, and you all were saying, to your knowledge, Paducah has the only Labor Day parade in the state. Other communities, Louisville, for example, they have programs, but Paducah has the only parade left.
And I don't think they have a program in Henderson because they have such a big program in Evansville. And Owensboro, they have a picnic. And actually, we had J.R. Gray here last year, and they gave an award out for J.R. Gray, so he's having to be in Owensboro this year. Louisville has a day at the picnic with a parade. Oh, not a parade, but they have booths, and and they have a setup there where they have a lunch. And Northern Kentucky has a picnic, golf scramble, and other things like that. And Ashland, well, Ashland may have a parade. I think Ashland does have a parade. They'll be the only other ones that have a parade.
But that's a tradition in Paducah that goes back to 1892. That was the first parade.
And they were chartered in Paducah 1893. And this is we've been 116 years. And this is our 34th participation.
You know, one thing, and I've tried to do some research on this, and no one seems to know, the parades in Paducah kept going at least through World War II, but at some point they stopped, and then were resurrected again, what, in 1980 something?
Well, we're 34.
Well, yeah.
We're 34, starting back up.
Yeah,
so it's.
But no one seems to know exactly
know.
why. I know Larry Sanderson with 184 had an old brochure, and someone else gave me a program. I believe it was from 1943, and it was a rather extensive program. And then after that, it just faded away. And then it was brought back by a group of trade unionists in the area. And it's really, and as I said, at one time it was the official state AFL-CIO parade.
Yeah.
I tell you, one of the main push and drives probably to bring the parade back to Paducah was a lot of the old guys that were involved in the Labor Day Committee. Harold Lovin was one of the ones that helped raise funds and things, and they used to sell programs and things and sell ads for the programs and help support the Labor Day. And that might be something we want to look to in the future too, because we want this thing to grow. We want it to be for everybody, whether you belong to a trade union or whether you belong to any kind of group. We want everybody to come out and have a good time and enjoy themselves on Labor Day, no matter who you are.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about the committee. You all are strictly nonprofit.
That's right.
All volunteer.
Right.
No salary.
No salary.
No.
So how does the committee function?
We get along pretty well. If we don't like something, you know, we'll hash it out there in the meeting, and we usually come out all unified and all ready to go. There was talk of a car show this year, but it's hard to do a lot of things when you only have a one-day program. Mm-hmm. And we had some people get upset because we couldn't do everything. But maybe next year when we get to the 3 days, maybe we can get everything fit back in the right way.
Well, it sounds like you're picking up some new blood, and that's an encouraging.
We are, and we're encouraged about that. It's help. Yeah. It's a big help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it is such a tradition in Paducah. I still remember when our son was little, and he had a baseball cap filled with candy, and then he took my baseball cap and filled it with candy, and it was just his cap runneth over in the parade. I still remember that. That was way back when.
Well, let me ask you, are you going to be out there at Labor Day this year?
Yes, I will.
Will you be
taking pictures?
All right. In any other capacity?
I know what you're getting at, and the answer is that would get my camera wet. Jeff is referring to the dunking booth that we're going to have, but I'll tell you who's proved to be a good sport on this, and that is, who has volunteered to be in the dunking booth?
David Walker.
The parade grand marshal. I'll get his pictures as he goes in. How will that be?
I may take a shot at that and let some people get a chance. My wife said she'd probably spend about $100 to throw at me for a while.
Well, I'd be afraid there'd be too many students. Of course, you might make a lot of money at it, but then no one else would get a chance. All my students would be there doing that. But that will be that's really a good sport. Tell us more about David Walker. He never talks about himself, but you talk about him.
Well, his cousin was the sheriff, Howard Walker.
Howard Walker.
Yes.
Yes, and David has been a guy that's worked behind the scenes. He used to run the softball tournament for Labor Day, and he's really kind of a quiet leader. And
one word I would not use to describe Howard Walker would be quiet.
Oh,
no.
No.
Well, if you got to know David, he's not really that quiet when you're around him. He likes to talk.
But you know, Howard Walker's the kind of guy that never met a stranger. I remember he used to come out on campus. Gerald Watkins would invite him out to talk to his government classes, and Howard he just walk around. He just that kind of a personality, just very friendly,
so relaxed.
Absolutely, and can relate to anyone. So, but David is not like that, of course.
Well,
until you get to know him.
And when you get to know him, David's probably never met a stranger either. But David's one of the ones that doesn't look for any acclimates. He's not one that's a self-promoter, and he's not one that pats himself on the back or anything. David's one of those guys that you tell him to do something, he gets the job done, and he's happy to do it. And he's one of those quiet leaders, and I'm just proud that we found such a great Grand Marshal this year for our parade.
That's terrific. And he'll be riding at the very front, of course.
Yes, and we always put the Union float behind the Grand Marshal from his local. So
it'll be a 184. Will be,
Plumbers and Steamfitters will be right behind David.
Right behind David. Yeah. That's great. That's great. Any new entries that you can think of that we haven't seen before? Some of the Union floats are very clever. I know one. It was a sheet metal workers. They've got, and then there's one that's got a toolbox.
That's sheet metal workers. They come
really
up with
clever.
They had a robot. They built like a robot.
They built a robot one time.
Year.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see what some of these guys can do to build these floats. Leonard Tucker has been. He's going to resurrect our Western Kentucky Labor Day float for us this year. He's a member of 184, and he's going to get it all set up for us, and we appreciate that. He's done a good job. He's really been a hard worker for us too.
I think the one thing that people don't realize is how much planning goes into this. Obviously, you all start before a week before Labor Day.
Yes.
So, Francis, take us through that. Typically, okay, the Labor Day parade will be Labor Day Monday. It's come and it's gone. It's over. Then, how do you start planning for the next year?
Well, we usually take a break, Barry.
Much deserved.
Yes, everyone that has had any part of it, they deserve a break. And we take a break, and then usually the first of the year we get started again, but it was recommended that we get started a little sooner than that this coming year because we're concentrating on the 3 days, and it takes a lot more work. But we start in and we start sending out letters. Jeff and I, we send out letters for money raisers, you know, the locals, and we have our local help too. We have several businesses that contribute to our Labor Day celebration, and then we start planning our program and trying to get bands, locate different bands, and then we try to get our concession stands, and it's just one thing after. There's no end to anything we do on this, trying to get it all together, and then we get closer to the end, and of course we have meetings. We've got to meet with parks for our Labor Day, our permit and things. There's things that go into this that people don't realize that takes time, but then we start with our lineup, and everything falls into place, it seems like, there at the end. And I have a lot of good help. This guy's harder to get touch with sometimes. I'll say, just give me 5 minutes, Jeff, but we work it out.
I call her when I've got a day off, and we go down there and meet. I went back on swing shift, and I've took on some more responsibilities, so it's been kind of tough.
You're the president of your local.
I've become the president of my local and president of the area council, and you sit on the board with the Jackson and the Sanders house with me, and I'm a member of the Kentucky State FLCIO. But like she was saying, usually in October we meet again to clear the books, to get everything done, and trustees look at everything and make sure that we've got all our T's crossed and our I's dotted, and so that we're fine to go start the next year. And like she said, we usually take a break till the first of the year and then start. But if we're going to plan a 3-day program and get what we want involved, there's even talk about maybe some kind of cook-off between local unions. That's something that we didn't mention, that the Dream Factory comes out there, and they'll be selling burgers and dogs and things, and to raise money for the Dream Factory. And what is our barbecue?
Our barbecue is Magic Valley Barbecue. He'll have barbecue and hamburgers and hot dogs, and Jeff and I both said, "What is that?" Sloppy potatoes, but they explained what that was.
Yeah, I heard about that. What are sloppy potatoes?
It's with chili and cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, it's with chili and
cheese on.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And cold drink. We got them, but it's hard to get anyone for one day, Barry. It's just hard, you know.
Yeah.
They come a distance and set up and everything, and then go. It's over with. It's just hard. This year we got started a little later on a lot of our planning because of the weather.
I was going to say the ice storm. I know slowed everybody down.
That slowed us down some, but we're already, and I've already gotten 3 calls from people that want an application for next year.
For next year?
Yes.
And this year hasn't even happened yet?
No.
Yeah.
I really have.
Well, I think it's really important for the people of Paducah in the area to know how much work goes into this. Sometimes I wonder if people think that people just show up and just kind of run through it and wing it, and that's just not
No, Barry,
at all
no.
the case.
No, it's not. No.
We've kind of actually got our own stimulus package going this year is what we did, and we told people they put the big yard sale on the thing. People come out and sell their stuff, make a little money. You know, the more money people can make and put in their hands, the more things that they can go out and buy and do. And so maybe we're putting a little flavor to a local stimulus.
Your own stimulus package.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a very clever idea.
Well.
Who came up with the idea for the yard sale?
He did.
Well, okay.
He did.
We'll brag on
He
him
did.
then. Yeah.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
And I agreed with him. I don't disagree with him.
Because that's what a good crowd too that you would draw. What are the crowd estimates? Do you all ever do crowd estimates for parade watching as well as going to the picnic?
The parade on Broadway is something else. It is solid on both sides.
Several blocks out.
All the way to 17th Street, nonstop.
Yeah, it is.
And it's packed. But now the last 2 years, our crowd has been down out at Carson Park, hasn't it?
It's been down a little bit.
A little bit. But we think that this year is going to be a lot different. We have done more advertising this year than any year I've been in this thing. We've been on TV. We've done 3 newspapers. We've gone back and classified ads. We've done every way we could think of to advertise, and I think that it's going to pay off.
We bought 500 spots on the local cable company to advertise, and we've kind of split some of it up with advertisement with different papers too. This time, trying to get more attention, and like I said, next year if we get enough money that we can start a good program where we can get maybe possibly those 2 big names, then we'll have to probably do possibly a lot more advertising next year. So it's going to cost a little bit more money next year, but I told Francis if we spend it all next year and we have a big blowout and we have a good time, let everybody enjoy it, and then we'll worry about getting the money for the next year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that always comes through.
Yeah.
We have a lot of faithful
Oh, absolutely.
people. We sure do.
Yeah.
We have never not wanted for things. We wish we had more, but we've always had enough to carry the program on, and we're very happy with that. A lot of local unions pay. A lot of local business people pay. There's some large contributors out there that give to these programs.
Yeah.
Now, through the years, going way back, I read something about that the first Labor Day picnic was in a it was in a park out near where the Baptist church was. The park, I'm trying to think the name of the park.
You talking about the park out by First Baptist?
Was way out there, yeah, originally.
Is that Cobb?
Was it Kyler Park?
Kyler Park.
It might have been.
That might have been.
That
might have been.
But I had read that because many years ago,
Yeah.
you all may remember that there was a woman who was Miss Labor Day in the parade back in the 20s. It was in 2000. She was Miss Labor Day back in the 20s, and she was in the parade with the current Miss Labor Day. And I was thinking there was a park out. It was apparently there were streetcars in Paducah, ran all the way out this park, and they had a big thing out there back in the 20s. And she was recognized as Miss Labor Day of 1920 something. It was about year 2000. Then you all were in Noble Park. I remember that. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
one year we switched it around,
downtown.
had it down by the waterfront.
Yes, we did.
And but Carson Park pretty much is the home for the foreseeable future.
Well, it looks like that.
It's a whole lot cooler for the vendors to be in the shade and the trees, and the county has really worked well with us on things, and we're really happy with where we're at, and we'll probably try to stay there if we can. There's been talk about going back to Noble Park. You know, they got the new amphitheater and things, but I mean, you know, we always have to negotiate prices and where we do things, and city, county, you know. It's been kind of easier to work with certain people than certain people
Sure.
and things.
Sure, that's I guess always the case.
Well, we used to have a Miss Labor Day, and then we had the little ones, a Miss
Yes.
and Mr.
As
Labor
a matter
Day.
of fact, if memory serves,
Yes.
Gerald Watkins' daughter,
Yes.
who is now 16 or 17,
Oh, yeah.
was Miss Labor Day way back when.
Well, that was like a different entity that was
Yeah.
running that. They had their own little group that run Miss Labor Day
Took care
pageant
of it.
and took care of it. And they decided they weren't going to do that anymore, so that's why we've not had that. But you know, it's kind of a part that's missing. That, you know, if somebody wanted to take off of that and run it again, then maybe we could.
Work with
You
them.
know,
Work
think
with 'em.
about it. This lady she was called Goddess of Labor.
Oh man.
Goddess of
She was
Labor.
Goddess of Labor. That reminds me. In the time we have left, if anyone wanted to contact you all about this before the parade, is there a number or contact?
Well, they contact me. That's 270-554-1627.
And that's if they wanted to just check this year
Anything,
or
yes.
anything about it.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And of course, I think we need to mention the price of admission to all of this.
Our mission.
Zero.
Zero.
That's right.
I think it's about the best free show in Paducah.
You know, some people charge for entries, like in the parade, but we don't do that either. We just don't do that.
Wow.
And hopefully, if next year we get who we want to get, we want that to be a free program too.
That's right.
We want to bring people in here that people can enjoy and sit down and enjoy Labor Day, and we want that to be free too. It's going to cost us a little money, a little bit more money, but we want it to be free.
And hopefully the donors heard that. Hopefully the donors heard
They're
that.
good, Barry. They're good.
That's great. We're out of time. Thank you all for joining us. My guests today were Francis Willey and Jeff Wiggins. Please turn out to the Labor Day festivities, the parade and the picnic in the park, and try those sloppy potatoes. I think I will. I'm Barry Craig. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.